right, we're back with Pablo, and what are we looking at? Which model is this here?
This again is the Nord Stage 2. This is the current Nord flagship instrument. This particular instrument I have my hands on here is a 76 weighted key version, also available in 88 weighted keys or 73 semi-weighted keys. I love the 73 semi-weighted keys. It weighs 21 pounds. You can sling it over a shoulder and go anywhere with it. Even the 88 weighted keys is only 44 pounds, which is pretty seriously light for a fully weighted 88 key controller and instrument. What I'd like to show you here is what Nord calls the Morph Function. And generically speaking, because we can run so many different instrument sections simultaneously, the mod wheel does not actually do anything until and unless you tell it what it is you want it to do. So, and this is very easily done. We'll double tap the wheel button. I'll drop some organ bars here. I'll raise these bars up here. I'll raise these bars just a little bit. Single tap the button. Now, as I manipulate the mod wheel, watch the bars. This particular example may not be especially useful musically, although if you play with this, you may find ways to use it on drawbars that will make sense. But what I'm showing you here is that with this Morph function in the mod wheel, you control the direction, positive or negative, of your parameter adjustment, and you also control the range of your parameter adjustment to full range or any intermediate range. So this becomes extremely useful in a situation of a synthesizer, for example, where I have a traditional analog or virtual analog synthesizer. We want to open up the filter on the synth to give you that bright tone. Double tap the wheel button, open up the filter, single tap the wheel button, it's done. And notice that's how quickly you can do this. You can do it live on the fly at a gig, in the middle of a tune even. Now, over here, and I don't know if you're going to catch that, the filter frequency is opening, so the filter's opening. As you probably know, when you crank open a filter wide on that kind of a synth, your volume is going to boost, especially if you've got resonance peaked. So this might be hurtful to the ears or just drown out everybody else in the band and they won't love you for it. We can compensate for that. Double tap the wheel button, back off the synth volume a little bit, single tap. Now, when I manipulate the mod wheel, the filter opens, the volume goes down, you get the tone you want without killing anybody. Well, as you did notice, the drawbars are still moving. We can keep on piling them all on. To tell you the truth, I haven't counted them. But yeah, so it's like gives you the ability to turn 20 knobs at once with precision with regard to the beginning point and the end point of that parameter sweep. Also, we've been using the wheel to demonstrate that, but you can program the same functions into aftertouch or control pedal. Another thing which is perhaps kind of unique that this instrument will do is you have your choice in the delay effect section of whether you wish to run it in digital mode or analog mode. In a digital mode, when you vary the rate of the delay, your pitch does not change. But as we know from our old analog delay times, when you play with the rate on your delay, it goes up, it goes down, all kinds of beautiful spacey effects. Depending on what kinds of music you're doing, this can be fun or this can be not your bag, not your cup of tea. But
that's awesome.
It's a blank slate that allows you to do anything you want.
Now, what about like a interaction with your laptop or your keyboard? Is there a librarian or some type of editor that you would use, or how would you save or back up your programs or your settings?
Well, Nord is in the business of making and selling hardware. To complement their hardware, they make software. But Nord is not in the business of selling software. When you buy a Nord, your software is free. Go to the website. You will get a DVD when you get your instrument. By the time the instrument has been tested, shipped from Sweden on a slow boat to the warehouse, to the dealer, to the end user, that DVD might be 12 months old. So we encourage people to go online and download the latest, greatest software because they're continually updating things. When we put new sounds out there, sometimes the new sound will require the latest OS update. So in order to be able to use those new sounds, you got to have the latest update. You got to have the latest software, and it's there, it's free. Go grab it. There are two specific software packages that operate as to most current Nord instruments right now. One is the Nord Sample Editor. The Sample Editor, in this instrument, you can load samples into it and play it through the synth section. When I started with Nord about 22 months ago, there were approximately 250 samples in the sample library. Currently, there are about 1,100 samples in the sample library. It's all free, folks. They have Mellotrons, and these aren't like they went out and got some Mellotrons and did them. These are officially licensed. They went to the Mellotron people and paid them to get the genuine Mellotron sounds. We have genuine Mellotron sounds in this instrument. 1,100 samples in the Nord sample library. If you don't find what you want, and off the top of my head, I can think of one thing that I've heard people ask for that does not yet exist in the Nord sample library, is a steel pan.
I was going to say Digidaru.
No, well, yeah, maybe. Maybe. Steel pan. So, but whatever it is, one-hit shots. If you have something that you want your keyboard to play and they don't have it there for you, all you need is a WAV file. With a Nord Sample Editor program, software, available for both PC or Mac. Dump your WAV files into the software, and for those people who have spent time creating samples and instruments, this is a beautiful thing. The software will scan the text of the file name of your WAV file, looking for MIDI note information. And if you have named your WAV file to include MIDI note information, it will auto-map it to the indicated note. I can show you something I did on
Massive time saver.
Massive. I mean, I've got, this morning I did one, created a patch with about 45 samples. As long as I got my MIDI note numbers in those sample names, the whole operation was done in less than 60 seconds. Mapping 45 samples to 45 notes.
That's incredible.
And installing them on the instrument. They also have a Nord Sound Manager software, also free, also PC or Mac. And the Nord Sound Manager software is used for downloading new piano instruments on here. Every 4, 5, or 6 months, Nord comes out with another piano. Last summer, they came out with a new Yamaha C7 Bright Grand. Last Christmas, a couple days before Christmas, they came out with a Bosendorfer Grand Imperial. So they're always adding new sounds to the library. That's the software you use to import those sounds. Also, that's the same software you use for importing samples. It's the same software you use for organizing your program banks. It's drag and drop. If the program you want to be your number 2 program is in bank C, program 87, drag and drop it to your number 2 slot, and it'll swap positions with what's already there. You're not deleting anything, you're not overwriting anything. And so you can easily, with your mouse, push stuff around to reorganize your banks.
And how many banks, how many sounds total can you program?
We have 4 banks of 100 programs each.
And are those 100 programs, can one program have like a A and a B, like you said? Layered or split?
It's your choice, actually. Some folks will use the slot A and the slot B to put, for example, a verse set up on A, a chorus set up on B. They can quickly flop back and forth between the two. Personally, I like layering the two of them and just putting my verse on one program and the chorus on the second program, but you can go either way.
As far as external inputs, you got a 3 pedal.
Then the 3-pedal is an optional accessory that's not included with the instrument.
You got expression pedal?
Yes, expression pedal input. You've got a rotary control input. And another thing they do is some people want independent sustain pedal control and rotary pedal control. Some people like to have their feet a little less cluttered. You can choose in a system setting, if you like, you can have the sustain pedal also handle the rotary control, the fast, slow on the Leslie simultaneously, or you can do them independently with different pedals. One thing we missed in the discussion of software, you asked about backing up and restoring. That software is the same software you use to prepare a backup of your instrument. It's very simple. Touch a button and it happens. Just give it the file name. Admittedly, you can, we've got 500 megs of piano memory. We've got a little bit less than 500 megs of sample memory. So when you do a backup, because we're talking about flash RAM, these things take a certain amount of time. And if you've got it fully loaded with 1 gig of memory, then you can go in the other room and get yourself a Coke or something and come back, because it's going to take a couple, 3 minutes, or actually, like, depending on the volume of stuff you have in there, it could be 15 or 20 minutes for that operation to occur.
So it's not just saving parameters, it's actually saving the waveforms.
Everything. And you can do the other two. You can save just the parameters without the physical files, so that you save some space and it happens more quickly.
Or if you already have the waveforms and you haven't
modified. That's especially if you're just trying to create incremental backups, but you haven't changed the sample contents of the instrument, that's the way to go. But for people who are traveling and using backline gear internationally or even nationally, dump it onto your PC, dump it onto your Mac, dump it onto your thumb drive, fly to wherever you're flying, get your backline gear, hook it back up, dump it back onto the instrument, and it's like bringing your keyboard from home. Dude, let's talk polyphony. We have, for the organ, the polyphony on the organ is full. You can play all notes at once. And keeping in mind that we have slots A and B, you can play all notes actually twice. The polyphony on the piano is 40 notes or 60 notes, depending on whether we're using a mono or a stereo piano sample. The polyphony on the synth is 18 notes. Again, that's per slot. 18 for slot A, 18 more for slot B synth engine. The synth engine has a unison mode, multi-mode. Perhaps somewhat unusual for these types of synthesizers. When you engage unison mode, you do not sacrifice polyphony. You still have 18 notes, even if you're doubling or tripling that note.
I don't know what else to ask you. I think you've answered everything, Pablo.
We got a lot. It actually will do quite a lot more, but we don't want to kill anybody with the details. We want to save some suspense
we might have to break this up into like 2 or 3 segments, but...
Yeah, I was wondering about that. It's getting kind of long, and we don't want to...
Yeah, it's okay. I might just break it up, but, you know, this is why I love doing this, because I love talking tech. You know, I love the guts, and I love to know what it is. And I really did want to know why it's like such a hot keyboard, because I trust me, I've seen it everywhere. Well, seems like every band has at least one Nord keyboard.
I'd like to comment on seeing it everywhere. You don't see it as much. You hear it more than you see it. Let me put it that way. You hear it way more than you see it.
So you're talking in studio?
No, I'm talking live. Okay. And I'll tell you why. There's a guy here, for example, in LA, who makes what he calls a Nordlitzer. He gets old Wurlitzer junk cabinets, rips the guts out, and sticks a Nord inside there. And these guys in the Supertramp tribute bands go out there with their Nordlitzer, and they're playing Nord keyboards, but the audience sees the Wurlitzer, so they get that genuine feel. I won't name names, but I'm not sure if this person is the largest or the second largest selling artist on the planet right now, who integrates a beautiful white grand piano into her stage show. Oh, I revealed the sex of the artist. The keys have been removed from that instrument, and a Nord piano has been inserted into it, and it has been very carefully wrapped with white duct tape so that when the camera zooms in, you won't see any red. But she's not playing that grand piano.
I think we all know who you're talking
about. Playing a Nord.
Yes. So artists obviously love the feel of the keys as well.
And well, it's the sound. It's all about the sound. I mean, the keys, and this is true of all Nord instruments, the keys are FTAR. It's true of all Kurzweil instruments. It's true of a great number of different instruments, keyboard instruments in the world today. FTAR makes their actions. But it's about the sound. It's not about the keys.
Awesome. All right. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up here with Pablo. Thank you very much.
Cool.
And I guess now you're going to be getting lots of calls because now you've let it on that you're tech support.
I would like to add that if we still got some running time, I'm tech support for Nord in the United States and Canada. When you buy a Nord, and I don't care if you bought that Nord new from the store or if you bought it online or if you're shopping for a 15-year-old instrument on eBay, when you buy a Nord, you have tech support. You have a human being at the other end of a phone, you have a human being at the other end of an email address, and you will get a response, unless I'm at the NAMM show, within 24 hours. I challenge any other keyboard manufacturer on the planet to offer the tech support that I offer in the United States and Canada. And I don't know it all yet, I'm working on it, but I don't sleep at nights. I stay up until 3 or 4 in the morning so I can have real-time conversations with my people in Stockholm, and what I don't know I find out as quickly as I can, and we get you where you need to go, parts-wise, issue-wise, whatever it happens to be. Spreading the Kool-Aid of Nord.
Swedish?
No, but happily they know English. No. They grew up on American television, so they speak as good English as I do.
Awesome. All right, well, thank you, Pablo.
Yeah, man, blessings.
Everyone, contact Pablo if you have anything Nord related, and we'll see you next time. Coming up, I check out what's new for 2012 from Newmark and Elises. That's next in Part G.